Hello again and welcome to another Travel Today wrap-up with me, Steve Jones, and my colleague Anne Majumdar, who's backed by popular demand. We'll be running down this week's stories that made headlines in the travel industry. It's never easy stitching two companies together, but from a financial aspect at least, Jetset Travelworld and Stella seem to be making some pretty good progress. The company turned in a pretty strong set of figures for the year to June, with earnings before tax and interest hitting around about $55 million and pre-tax profits hitting about $31 million, and that was boosted by a particularly strong second half of the year. However, in a report that had more figures than a Milan fashion show, even analysts were left scratching their heads and described the figures as messy. Not that that's anybody's fault, it's just that the timing of the merger between JTG and Stella made any direct comparison with the performance of the previous year pretty difficult to analyse. Nevertheless, the underlying performance of the group was very strong. Peter Lacaze, the chief executive of JTG, played down his own role in the success. He said anybody that couldn't make money in the second half of the financial year, when trading conditions were particularly good, might as well pack up and go home. They're my words, not his. However, analysts were pretty gracious in their praise. They said management had done an outstanding job in bringing the two companies together and said the results had exceeded their expectations. Now spring, which of course began this week, is traditionally a time of fresh starts and when things start bursting into life. Not so for the Australian Federation of Travel Agents this week, who killed off its long-running Webmail service, which has been running for just about a decade. In truth, the demise of Webmail, which in case you don't know is a daily email sent to travel agents containing deals and product information, didn't come as too much of a surprise. Suppliers have been increasingly going direct to travel agents with this information, while retailers themselves have been accessing it via a range of technology channels. In fact, out of a database of 9,000 emails held by AFTA, Webmail was only receiving 200 clicks per day, and that's clearly unsustainable. So while a tough decision there for AFTA to close that long-running service, it would appear to make absolute sense. The last Webmail will be sent out on October the 28th.
Tiger Airways may be back in the sky, but it's still not out of the headlines. The latest instalment in the saga sees Chief Executive Tony Davis on his way out, effective November the 1st. Formerly Chief Executive of the airline's Singapore-based parent company, Davis stepped in as Chief Executive of Tiger Airways Australia following its grounding in July, taking the reins from Crawford Ricks. The official line is that he had completed his task of getting the troubled carrier back in the air and was leaving to take up a new position outside of the company back in Europe, implying that had always been his plan. But it's unlikely that Davis imagined his return to the motherland would unfold in such circumstances. On a more positive note, the airline returned to the Gold Coast this week with a return daily service, its third destination since it resumed domestic services. Another development in the aviation industry this week came from Cathay Pacific, who promised to introduce premium economy to its aircraft in the second quarter of next year, saying that the offering was now standard. Cathay promised a major upgrade on existing economy seats with a great recline and plenty of leg space to be implemented on all medium, long and ultra long haul flights.
Thanks for that, Anne. That's it for now. Thanks again for watching. We'll be back with another Travel Today wrap-up, same time, same place next week. Until then, have a good week. Take care.